Good afternoon. Welcome to another fractious version of Diatribes in the voice of Dean. Now here's your frustrated and frazzled host, voice of Dean. Alrighty. Thought I'd do another quick diatribe before the election results finally are tallied, which should be another 2 or 3 months. And I'll kind of expand a bit on my last diatribe, because I didn't really say everything I wanted to say about my attitude toward elections and what used to be the United States of whatever at large. Now, when I realized that my choice for senator in the state of Nevada had been defeated after he was ahead and after certain votes were found, and it went toward the D's, which gave control of the Senate back to the D's, I decided I don't think I want to vote anymore. And I started telling people that I didn't want to vote anymore. And most people, which are kind of my ilk, were aghast. And I realized how everybody had their own flavor of Kool-Aid. And I'm still alone in this world, just like I said in one of my first diatribes. I've always felt kind of by myself because I try to look for other answers. And it doesn't go well with the masses, because the masses are used to things a certain way, and that's the way it's going to stay. And I say this electoral system is not good. We should be doing better than that. I don't care about James Madison or any of those guys. They had a great idea and it worked for a while. Maybe it never worked, but it was a system of government. It wasn't a dictatorship. Now, I realize that we are still in a dictatorship. It's just that we wean our way through to our dictatorship. And I'm talking about the leadership. I'm talking about what happens after the elections. They choose the leaders of their party in the chambers of Congress. We have 4 of them. We have the Schumer. We have Turtle Face. We have Nancy Pelosi right now, and we have whoever the Gopper. McCarthy, I guess, for the minority. Now, apparently the Senate wants to rush through their leadership votes, and they want Turtle back because Turtle's been so good. His record is stunning, stellar. Look at all the years he's been in Congress, and look at how much better things are, because he's always been willing to work together with the D's and do what the D's tell him. Okay. What bugs me is this McCarthy business, because they've already voted him to be the leader of the Goppers. And we're not even sure if the Goppers are going to be in charge yet. You mark my words, it's taking too damn long. We're still at 217. They just won't let it go to their last vote. And all those votes that are up for grabs are all in Cali. So it's taking too long for these congressional districts to count up their votes. So it's obvious they're going to be cheating their asses off, and watch what happens. 207 to 217 as of Wednesday, November 16th. They need one more vote, the Gops. They're not going to get it. You watch. Every single one of those white little squares that they show on TV are going to go blue. And suddenly it's going to be a Democratic government all over again like we had before. And they've been doing so well that they deserve to continue. Anyone with eyes can see that they've done a great job and they deserve to continue. But it still bugs me about this so-called congressional leadership business, because it's dictatorship. Now, that's just the way it is. We have our representative government, we have our local government, we have our state government, which the people all vote in. And then once we vote in those people, that little group votes for the dictator. And that's what they are, because these jerks call the shots on what's going to be voted on and what's going to be, worked on in Congress. They decide, we're going to shelve this, we're going to table this, we're going to work on this. We're going to shelve the border crisis, we're going to table the fentanyl crisis, we're going to set aside for now the crime crisis and work diligently on tort reform. That's our big thing. Now, come on. It's a dictatorship. Now, you want to stretch the elections all year long, all the time, every year. Off years of off years can be election times, because people should be allowed to vote for those people. So that means all the representatives, congressmen, have to campaign all over again with the people to get the leadership position in their stupid ass thing. And that still doesn't change anything, because the power they have is too much. I don't want to do this, so... And they can just say that. That's a dictatorship. If there's a problem, it needs to be solved. You don't say we're going to table and shelve it. So I'm sick of that. But the different people I talk to about not wanting to vote anymore, for obvious reasons, is, you can't do that. Oh, I hate the cliche. If you don't vote, you have no right to complain. As if voting has solved anything. Ever. Okay, there's different ways to have a government. I've already explained it to you. And it can still be reasonably democratic, but not just every idiot in America, what used to be America, can have a say if they don't have a brain in their head. That's just the way it's going to have to be. We're going to have to somehow, I don't know, I'll figure it out. If I'm given the chance, I'll figure it out. It'll take like half a day. A way for everybody to have a fair say in how this country is run, and yet run it efficiently with the right people, with the right knowledge. It's a way to do it. You can't have every idiot voting and then have morons just getting their name out, popularity contest, how much money is spent. First of all, the money is ridiculous. It's obscene. They're spending tons of money when they shouldn't have to spend any money. There shouldn't have to be any money spent on who gets elected to be problem solvers, to run departments in order to solve problems. That shouldn't cost a thing. You should be able to get your name out and your platform, and people can choose without spending a dime. Look how much I've done. Haven't spent a cent on this YouTube channel. I've said everything. Gave you the meaning of life. But some people are like, it's your civic duty to vote. And then the other people are saying, that's what the D's want. That's exactly what the D's want, is for you to be frustrated and then never vote again. And I see a point to that if I thought that one was better than the other, but it's obvious they're not. So I got 2 years. Of course, they're talking about 2024, before 2022 has even been resolved yet. It's like, let's talk about who's running for president now. Oh, Orangey's back in the game, and now he's got all these other people, and it's going to be a bloodbath. They're going to go at each other. And they are going to go at each other. That's another reason why democracy fails, is you have these candidates in the primaries tearing each other apart, and by the time you reach the general, you don't like anybody. You hate them all. It's obvious how stupid it is. I'm the only one that's going to say it on this planet. Update on Poland. Okay, 2 farmers have lost their lives because of a, friendly fire. I mean, I guess Ukraine tried to shoot down some missiles from Russia, and one missile went awry and went astray and went this way instead of that way. So you're going to have that. And I don't think that World War III will break out, and I think even if Russia deliberately bombed Warsaw, I still don't think that World War III would break out. They'd find a way to spin that little episode in order to avert that. Because it's not good for the elections if we have World War III and all-out nuclear atomic holocaust, because then the ballots really get, mixed up by then when they've all been blown up. So that's going to make it hard. So we're going to try to avert World War III, but time is running short now. I'll just give you a rundown on the big macrocosm geopolitically off the top of my head. Didn't plan it. Time goes on, and Vlad the Mad's health is not good, and yet he still wants to see his dream come true. He's not going to be pushed up against the wall because it doesn't bode well for him no matter what happens, unless he shows some progress on his campaign. So it will escalate in Ukraine. It will escalate to Eastern Europe. And as far as energy and food, there's going to be shortages. We've been doing well so far, but I don't like a queasy feeling that suddenly there's going to be some sharp spikes in gasoline and sharp spikes in food. Food just slowly goes up to the point where it's like, well, I'm going to buy ramen noodles and just cheap stuff. So, Xi, our beloved Petri dish, had a meeting with Xi Jinping, and I'm sure Xi was totally in awe of Petri dish's aura of power, his resolve that certain things are not going to happen, so you can forget about that. I'm sure that Petri dish told him bluntly that if he attacks Taiwan, there's going to be trouble, and we're going to intervene. And I'm sure he told Xi that he better come up with some good excuse for why this 2020 pandemic raged through the planet. And Xi is probably diligently going back to his people and trying to put together the truth so he can hand it to Petri dish and say, here's what happened. And I'm sure Petri dish will use that to bring down his own regime, because I'm sure that what used to be the U.S. had a little hand in how this whole COVID pandemic started and panned out. So if Xi does tell the truth, then that will have to be hidden away. So that was just a hodgepodge of my ideas on, how things are going with the government. I don't like it. I don't know if I'm going to vote, but I have 2 years to decide. And if I do vote, I'm going to mail it in. And that way, if it gets lost, I don't really give a crap. Because it's no fun playing in a rigged game. It's really no fun. Who wants to play in a game, football game, where the refs are all on one side and they're blatantly doing it with impunity, and no matter how much one half of the crowd shouts, it doesn't matter. Penalty for them. No touchdown. That's the way it goes. It's a rigged game. And even the people we vote in aren't particularly good, and once they are voted in, they become dictators, so I might just bag it. But I got 2 years to decide. I'm not going to go every 5 minutes talking about the presidential election of 2024. I'm not going to do it. Okay, Orangey's in. There's going to be a big ruckus. Whether or not Petri dish is capable of running again, He's not now, but maybe he will be in 2 years. He could show some improvement. Not interested for now. I'm more interested in the conflagration, because once those bombs start falling and we start having smoldering pits in America, or what used to be, then we can move on and say we got to do something different. So that's my nihilist point of view, and that's the way it's going to be, and I'll leave it at that. So thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.